super awake. But it happens so fast, it happens so fast that sometimes you like, whenever something happened, you ask yourself, what if I did this? What if I did this? That could have prevented to happen. But it's one of those things that it meant to happen. It had to happen, and the reaction is just like, it was. Welcome back to another episode of the Mendable podcast. I'm your boy G, and with my co-host Toro.
You gonna make it. Yeah. Keep your head up. You're a king. You're a queen. You got this. Sleepless grandma.
Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of the Mendable podcast. I'm your host G, back like I never left. Back here with another episode. We took a little break. Now happy to be back. And of course, here with the one and only Toro. And today we're gonna do something different, something that we haven't done before. And just kind of like going over. Just going back and give you a little background of the break that we took from the podcast.
More of a recap.
Yes. Man, just happy to be back and give you guys content. Yeah, but I'm gonna let Toro gonna give you a little introduction of the top of whatever that we're gonna be talking about.
Right, so the last video that we posted was back in February, and obviously we had intention of continuing at the rate or in the consistency that we were posting every episode, but unfortunately, Jelson suffered an accident, actually 2 accidents in the same month, and we had to put a pause, so we sort of needed a break to sort of recover both mentally and physically. So the purpose of this episode is sort of to give a recap of what happened, because I believe there are valuable lessons that people can take away from his experience, and it will also explain a lot in terms of like what are our intentions of going forward and what are the changes that are soon to come forward. So Go ahead, you want to say something?
Yeah, and it also like I believe that sometimes we all go through things that and we overcome, that we just keep it to ourselves. Sometimes it's always good to just share, talk to someone. Of course, not everything is people comfortable sharing, and I believe this thing that happened to me, it was only the best thing. It's only to share, right? Because I try to share most of the stuff that I go through and most of the stuff that I overcome, because some people mentally, they need the voice, they need to hear that they can do it themselves too. Yeah.
So as I stated before, Jelson did suffer an accident, so what we're going to be doing today is I'll be the one asking questions, and he'll just be able to elaborate further in terms of what happened and provide more details so that you can understand exactly what took place. So my first question is, can you tell us about the accident?
Yeah, so the accident, going back last year, just at the end of last year, I suffered 2 accidents in the span of 3 weeks. So the first one, I'm just gonna like speed up, make you a long story short. So the first one happened in the morning. Of course, wake up super early in the morning, and I was heading to work, and I was in the highway. Everything was great, super awake. But it happened so fast, that sometimes you like, whenever something happened, you ask yourself, what if I did this? What if I did this? That could have prevented to happen. But it's one of those things that it meant to happen. It had to happen, and the reaction is just like it's so fast. So, and that's how we gain experience in life, you know. So the only way, the only best teacher in life is our own experience, you know. So I was in the highway behind a truck, it was a 2-lane behind the truck, and started approaching this truck. As I approached the truck, I realized the truck is going really slow. So we're both on the right side, and I want to go to the left, but he's kind of like still going very slow, you know. So I just started signaling to go to the left because I just started approaching very close to him, but I don't think he saw me. So as soon as I was about to go to the left, there was a car coming on the left side. I see him through my mirror, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that car on the left side that's coming go by, then I'll switch lane. So as the car approached, the car finally passed, and I was about to switch to the left. So the truck moved at the same time I did. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you saw me. Big truck, my car is small. So as soon as I hit the truck, because we both switched at the same time, so I hit the truck, and once I hit the truck, I lost control of the wheel, of course. So my car went this way. Likely there was a ramp on the left side that saved my car. So as soon as I hit the ramp, it blew the left tire. That I didn't have no control, which was actually the best thing that blew the tire, because it made the car stop. Because in the highway, moving fast, you know, I was about 110, 120. So that blew the tire on the left side, so that prevented the car to stop, kind of like from spinning or anything like that. So good thing there was a ramp, because if there was no ramp on the left side, my God, who knows what could have happened, right? So that happened. The car's moving slowly, spinning a little bit, and then it just stopped on the left side, you know, after like a 30-second, because like I said, I hope it happened so fast. So as soon as that happened, you know, it's early in the morning, I think around 5 o'clock, there was no car behind me, and I think it was like October, at the end of October. Yes, it was at the end of October. At the end of October, at 5 o'clock, it's still pretty dark, you know. So good thing there was no car that came by, or like good thing my car just stopped there on the left side of 2-lane. So when cars came, so they just kept going on the right side. So when that happened, and you know, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe the truck driver is gonna slow down, but he didn't slow down at all. He took off. So
hit and run.
Kind of like we hit and run, right? Because so in my head, it's like right after, so I'm trying to realize like what just happened, because when that happens, it's like 4 minutes after a car pull over, and they started asking me questions. I mean, like I was in shock. You know, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to explain. I say, you're gonna have to give me some time, because I don't know what happened. It happened so fast, and then I was able to, you know, I was able to
Get yourself together.
Yeah, get myself together, and then be able to explain to the cop. And I wasn't a foul. Of course, it was a hit and run. So there was just another like I didn't put to mind that there was like a wake up call, you know, to be more alert, or like, but I was alert. So, but it didn't really affect me mentally, because it happened so fast. So it's not my fault. Okay, move on, right? So went on with my life, you know, trying to figure out, my car is completely damaged, done. So I didn't know what to do. Then the next day, I called my wife right away. You know, she said, "Okay, well, don't forget about the car. You just go to work, and we'll figure out." So of course, like we always do, and we'll figure out a good idea. My wife gave me an idea. You know what? Ask your brother for his car. And meanwhile, while we were looking for another car, because the car there was no fix. It's completely damaged, and it's an old car, right? So I mean, we didn't want to invest too much money in the car to fix it and then get it installed. You know what? Just to get another one. But in the meanwhile, ask your brother, because he's working from home right now. Get another car. So we got the car. You know, long story to make it short. So I was driving my car for 3 weeks. The last day, when I finally I purchased another car. The last day, at that time I was doing too much. I was doing 2 jobs. I was working out before the first job, and it was just so much. You know, went to try and make extra money to invest in the business, the business that I have. Just so many bills that was coming all at once. In my mind, like, I'm already doing so much from the first one, you know, being like a kitchen manager of my main job, and plus to go and pick up another job, it's just too much. And plus doing a podcast, running a clothing brand business, and I'm just a man with a lot of ambitions. You know, I made the same mistake before in the past, but told myself, well, you know what, this time I'm gonna pick up a little extra job. Not gonna do so much, you know. Now I'm gonna put so much on my plate, but it felt like I end up going back to the same habits that I used to do in the past. You know, putting so much on my plate and not giving myself enough rest. And it came to the point that one day, the last day, when I finally bought a new car, while I was driving my brother's car, because he works from home, of course, like I said, I got into a really, really bad accident. So just 3 weeks after that first accident that happened with the truck, so I got into a really bad accident. So this time, it was completely my fault, and I was in the best state of mind, because I fell asleep while I was just like, after the second job, tired, thinking that I was good, right? Because mentally I'm always thinking like, oh, I'm okay, I'm good. So I fell asleep on the wheel, and I hit a traffic light, and it's really bad. I think I made a post on social media. If you follow me on Sleepless Grandma page, you'll be able to see both cars, how damaged they were. So I crashed into a traffic light, and right at the moment when that happened, usually the first person I call is my wife. So I called my wife and I told her I got into another car accident, and she's like, oh no, what happened? And I told her, you know what, it's my fault. Normally I was just like, you know, this happened, but she could really just sense by the tone of my voice, and she's like, are you okay? And normally I'll be like, no, I'm good, you know what, I'm good, on to the next one. But this time I was like, no, I'm not okay. So she knew right away that it was really bad. Like that one mentally. Luckily there was no injuries, no scratch, nothing. But the effect mentally, it really take a toll on me. You know, it took me really a while for me to like, even to the point that I'm asking myself, why did I make that decision? Why did I do so much? Why I'm so ambitious? Why do I want everything all at once? Why? You know what? Sometimes like, you think you're doing the right things. You think you're doing all the right reasons. All the like, I'm grinding, I'm doing this and this and this. But life, it will teach you. It will slap you in the face. It will literally knock you down. And it will ask you, you going to keep going or are you going to give up? Are you think life is just like you can just make decisions and then not even analyze the pros and cons and you're just making decisions like, you know? So I did a lot in my life that to this point, and I'm so proud of myself and being so highly motivated. But you gotta be able to balance things out, and then always been my biggest weakness. Balancing things out, my biggest struggle, not weakness, struggle. Balancing things out, because I always like not really stick to the plan. Always go a certain amount of time doing whatever needs to whatever that needs to do, and then it come to a point that I just feel like, man, I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. And not just stick to the plan and then just stick it to whatever. Even with the results, you're not seeing results, but you know you're sticking to a plan, to whatever you say you're going to do. And that was one of my biggest thing. And the accident was just the best thing that ever happened to me. I say this, and people, when I explain to a couple close people, close friends and family, and they looked at me like, yo, this guy's crazy. But I was like, no, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, because I seen I could like literally lose my life and not be able to be there for my family, you know. So that being said, man, it took a little while for me to get back to here and share this story with you guys and share like how mentally I'm in the right place and so happy more than ever, and be able to take a good lesson from what happened, you know. So it's just amazing, you know. I'm just amazing, you know. Back into do what I do, and yeah, man.
Yeah, so usually whenever people go through life-threatening situation, it basically allows them to see how important life is.
Right.
And it basically removes all the distractions, all the things that are not important, and allows people to reflect and reevaluate like what's most important things in their life and what are the kind of things that they should do to appreciate those things. So what have you learned through your reflection, through reevaluating what's important in your life after the accident?
Health is the most important thing, you know. Sometimes you forget that your purpose is bigger than you, but whatever that you're doing, you always have to make sure you have time for fun, time for work, time for family, time for everything has a time for it, you know. And when you're so addicted to something and you don't see nothing else, it's just that. You know what I mean? Your health is the most important thing, you know. And I got caught up in just like striving to get more and be more, accomplish my goals. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, that's what it is. Your health is the most important thing.
Okay. So focusing your experience, you highlighted that you basically put yourself through a lot of things, and the one thing that stuck out is basically burnout.
Yeah.
Right? So having gone through this multiple times now that you mentioned, what are some of the signs that you can give examples to people to look out for to avoid going through the same thing that you did, in terms of like examples of burnout without you noticing, for those that haven't experienced what you've experienced?
Yeah, I think some of the signs that just know when you don't have enough time to enjoy yourself, you know, not having enough time to enjoy yourself, and when you just feel fatigued and you're not what's the word? energized.
Motivated?
Not motivated, because you are motivated because you want to keep doing more, but you just fatigued. But in your mind, you think if you slow down, you're not gonna accomplish that goal, or you feel like you're slacking. I'm speaking for me, right? And that's what I think. So you just feel like you being an average person, you know, because it's like myself, the way I feel is like motivated by the fear of being average. I'm motivated by the fear of being an average person. I want to be more. In order for me to motivate and inspire with the brand, right? I can't be an average person. So whenever I feel like I'm not doing as much, so I feel like I'm being an average person.
Interesting.
Makes
So,
sense.
yeah, like in the way that I'm seeing it is like whenever someone is hyper focused towards
One task.
one task,
Yeah.
they sort of begin to negate the physical and the mental aspect of their body that normally they need to go through.
Right.
And they only find out after they go through an experience like what you've gone through, right? So that's how I see it.
Right. So yeah, it's really hard to explain that. Some of the signs, but for me it was just like, and I couldn't see that. Like you said, signs. Now I'm able to see it, to know. That's what's like. It's one of those lessons that it's just unfortunate happened that way. But that was the only way for me to realize and like, yo, wake up, slow down. You're doing too much. You know what I mean? Yo, relax. But how are you gonna able to tell me that when I'm so focused onto that? Yo, I'm getting this and this and this and that. I want to accomplish this and this and that. I want to get to the podcast to the next level. I want to get to the brand to the next level. I want to launch new collection. In order for me to launch this collection this time, I have to give this amount. I have to save this amount of money. I have to make this amount of money so I can invest in the business. And I'm so driven and so focused to get that, not even realizing, not even taking care of myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You stated that you didn't suffer any physical injuries,
Right.
but you did go through a depression, which
Right.
is mental health is something that we don't have too much knowledge of, and we don't completely understand how it works. So do you have any sort of like information that you can provide in terms of like how you can recover from mentally after going through such experience?
Yeah, so I think for me it's just really taking a break from everything. Just like being able to analyzing. You know, sometimes when you feel like you slept enough, but like mentally you still feel tired. So there's the other way of resting your body, not just by sleeping, actually really taking that time for yourself, the me time. I learned this thing actually during my when I felt like depressed. I learned this thing that if you don't have 10 minutes a day for yourself, you don't have a life. You know what I mean? And it was really important for me to really always, and a day I could have the busiest day, but I always have to make sure I have that 10 or 15 minutes just for me, just to chill and relax, you know. Even before we started doing the podcast, of course, I was like, yo, let me give me some time, you know. My body is tired. My body is okay, but my mind is tired. So I need that me time. You know what I mean? So really doing that, it catches everything slows down, because some people go for walks, some people go for runs, some people listen to music, like really calm music, you know what I mean? Because you could be not tired, but your mind is tired. There's so much that we go through, so much that we have to take care of the day, you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the biggest things that I can tell somebody, that take that 10 minutes a a day, just yourself, sit down and just chill and relax. Like whatever you gotta do, whatever that works for you. Say music, or just sit down watching something that makes you laugh, just to calm your mind. Yeah.
Okay. So,
and of course, a good amount of sleep at nighttime too, right?
Right.
That's some people that can do the lack of sleep, right?
Right. So given that we focused on how you were still hyper-focused towards one thing and you negated the fact of your mental health and your physical health, how have you reduced the kind of things that you've done? So what are your new habits? What are your new routines in comparison to before?
Yeah, so my real routine is really simple, like before I think I was sleeping like 5 hours a night. Now I try to get 6 hours. I'm really in bed super early, like 8:30 to 9 o'clock. That's something I'm trying. I like, that's the time I have to be in bed, because I wake up super early in the morning, and inside of my body wakes me up, because if I don't try to go to bed early, my body always gonna wake up early. You know what I mean? So I have to try going to bed early, because I've been waking up so early for so long. In order for me to get enough sleep, I have to go to bed so early.
So you're fighting against your old habits, trying to override with the new habits.
Yes, you know what I mean? Because your body's on auto mode, right? Autopilot, right? You know what I mean? And that's part of it, being disciplined, right? Discipline, you have to do those things so your body is like on auto mode, So going to bed a little earlier so I can get that 6 hours, because I can sleep 7. You can sleep 7 and 8 hours, or some people need that. Because for me, I just can't, because if I sleep 7 to 8, I feel tired. So the best amount of hours I need is 6 hours. So doing that, and not putting so much on my plate anymore. Just decrease the amount of do list I have to do in a day. The amount of activities that I have to do in a day. One of the things that I learned, I was like, you're not an average person. You do so much. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't realize how much you're doing. So now I just try to do as much as I can. Let's say I feel I accomplish everything that I have to do in a day. I can finish it the next day, do it the next day. But I feel like I could just keep doing my routine and not putting so much on my plate and sticking to the task. Because that was my biggest thing. Not sticking to the task, feeling like I'm slowing down, feeling like I need to do more. Just being happy with the amount of stuff that I'm doing, and just being patient, because sometimes you're doing well, then you feel like, oh, you're not doing enough, then you want to increase more stuff, just being happy to be alive, for another day. And it's one of the things that I actually always say before I go and say anything on social media or speech or whatever. I say, another day, another bless, another grind, another day for us to better ourselves. So I was just really grateful and thankful for every day. It's another day, it's another chance for you to better yourself. Regardless the matter, you haven't accomplished everything on that day, you have another day to try again. It's all about being better the day before. So,
right. So focusing on accomplishment, something that you stated earlier. Well, what are your accomplishments now in comparison to before? Like, what are you seeking to accomplish? What are you seeking to attain now that you've experienced this tragic thing?
I'm seeking to attain pretty much the same goals, but I was just more patient now. I want to attain patience and commitment. Being able to accomplish something that I say I'm going to do long after what the feeling has left, and I still have that mentality. I don't have that motivation. I feel like that feeling that I had before, consistency. I gotta stick to it. So that's really one thing that I really look towards every day. Sticking to what I said I'm going to do long after the feeling has left. Yeah.
Well, the final thing I have in my notes is basically to ask if you have any message for those that are listening that might have experienced something similar and are having a difficult time, recovering through the experience itself. If you have any advice.
Yeah, so my advice is just telling people to get to know yourself, and really take a look deep in the mirror and really talk to yourself. That's one of the things I do now. It's not like you're not crazy. Don't think that you're crazy. You look in the mirror and give yourself a high five and tell yourself, man, yes. Another day for us to go there outside and try to accomplish the day, because it's not easy. You wake up in the morning, you just, the first thing is you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, man, I have to go outside, I have to go to work, I have to do some stuff. No, give yourself a high five just to be able to wake up, because I always remember, and this stays with me. And somebody told me this. I don't know if I heard this in a podcast or I read this in a book. It says, just whenever you think you're going through a hard time, always remember somebody's going through worst. Somebody's going through something worse than you. You know what I mean? So whenever you wake up, take a look in the mirror. Give yourself a high five just to be able to get up out of bed. Because some people, they can't even get up out of bed. You know what I mean? Because it's like, imagine somebody comes to you and offer you $1 million. $1 million for you to wake up in the morning healthy, or they offer you $1 million, but you won't be able to get up to go and do whatever you love to do, or they don't offer you no money, but you're able to get up out of bed healthy. Does it make sense?
Somewhat.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they offer you $1 million, but you can't get up out of bed to go and do what you love.
Right.
But the other offer is no money, but you healthy.
Right. I guess a better example it's not a better example, just another example that you can provide is that is where you put all your life, all your life into your work in order to gain the freedom, in order to enjoy life. But by the time that you reach that stage, you're no longer healthy, so you can't enjoy living that freedom, living that life that you projected.
Yeah.
As opposed to you just living you working to live the life that you want to live, right? Mm-hmm. You're not waiting until you reach a certain point, but you're living the life that you want to live as you're working, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess another way, there was a quote. You're not working to live. You're not living to work. You are working to live. I think that's it. But
it's something
putting it
like
wrong, but something
I think
like that.
I let them get a little understanding from that. So the example that I was trying to make, meaning just be grateful, be happy with what you are in life. If you really a highly motivated person, organize yourself, organize your goals, make a plan, and just stick to that plan and just follow. That's why I came about doing the 90 days of commitment on social media. Just really just every day being dedicated to everything you say you're going to do. And let's say you told yourself you're gonna go to the gym, you're gonna you're gonna come back home, you're gonna only eat healthy. That's just that one day, and you got this little distracted. You went and got a fast food, you didn't eat healthy, but you went to the gym. You know what? The next day, pick it up pick it up and just stay dedicated to what you say you're going to do, or just stay committed. That's why I made this challenge not only to help somebody out there, but also for me to stick it to the goals, even whenever it's not going according to the plan. I always stick to it and be committed to the goal long after the feeling has left. You stick it to that goal. So yeah, man, that's like in the 90 days of commitment. Today is like day 30. I'm on a day 30, and it's been so challenging because every day that you go through, there's so many challenges that you have to face, and like now having this challenge to stick to it and do it no matter what happens. You just have to stick to it. It's really challenging me, so it's just great, and it's really just giving me the lesson that I need, so I can give the lesson to somebody else that out there who probably is going to having a hard time sticking to a challenge, having a hard time sticking to something that they say they want to do, something the goal that they can't accomplish for themselves, because it's just like in life there's so many challenges. Life is hard, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Just try to correct myself. Just do that thing correctly again.
Yeah.
So it's, you are working to live, not living to work.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think that really goes back to, that really has to do with the challenges that I was facing. You know what I mean? I think I was just working to like work, and I wasn't working to live. So
I think it's important to just highlight that money is a tool that gives you access to the freedom that you seek. So don't look at it as the end goal,
right?
Because it won't provide you with whatever it is that you are seeking. It will only give you access to the freedom. But happiness is always there. It's just something that goes up and down. So you just have to understand that you can choose to be happy. Of course, there are things that can limit your happiness, but at the end of the day, it is up to you. By encompassing yourself with the kind of things that make you happy, especially your support system. Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're back stronger than ever. The wanted to get back, just the way we started, just both of us. And we're gonna bring you more episodes from here and now on. Be more consistent like we were before. And man, we love the process. We love doing this. And
we're not making any promises. Life is complicated.
Yeah.
There are things that happen that you can't plan for. We do what we can with the things that we can control, and the things that we can't control, we just live with the results. But we would try to do our best to resume the consistent rate that we are uploading the podcast.
Yeah. Man, we're so grateful and thankful to be in this position, to be able to deliver another episode. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.